Good morning, sir. I am Richard B. Rodriguez Jr. from BScream 2D. Forensic photography. Forensic photography derived from Latin words forensis, which means forum. To gather and seek the truth is the art of producing an accurate reproduction of a crime scene or an accident scene using photography for the benefit of a court to aid an investigation. Muna siya ang kuan kani ang forensic photography in other term kaning mangulikta og ebidensya, kaning magpicture sa example nay crime nga nahitabo, picturean tong mga evidence ang katong kaniyang ang biktima, picturean ng biktima kung giun sa siya pagpatay. Photography derived from Greek word photos, which means light, and graphen, which means draw and write. Photography, it is an art or science which deals with the reproduction of image through the action of light. And si Sir John F.W. Herschel was the first scientist nga na naghimuan nga word nga photography in 1839. Elements of photography. Light is an electromagnetic energy that travels in from of a wave with the speed of 186,000 miles per second. Sensitized material, composed of highly sensitized chemical compound which is capable of being transformed into an image through the action of the light and with some chemical process, film and photo paper, camera and its accessories. A device that used to capture an image. Chemical process. Chemical process is the process necessary from reducing silver halides into a form so as a latent image and a positive be made, resulting to what we call photograph. Police photography. Police photography, taking a picture or documentation of a crime scene or incident that the police works involves. Police photography is the application of the principle of photography in relation to the police work and the administration of justice. Police photography versus forensic photography. Kani siya mo ni siya ang kalainan sa police photography daw sa forensic photography. Police photography is the application of photographs on police works, while forensic photography is served as evidence to the court. Therefore, they follow the legal proceeding. Function of forensic photography in the field of law enforcement. First is to locate of identify the criminal and also to detect the cause of the crime. It should have a photo to identify easily. Kaya kibali i-trace niya ang mangita siya kaning mangita siya tao nga maka trace or mangita siya makuhaan na og ebidensya or makatudlo sa suspect. So, Identification is considered to be the first application of photography is police work. Alphonse Bertillon was the first police who utilized photograph in police work as supplementary identification in his anthropometry system. So si Alphonse Bertillon is considered as the founder of criminal and identification. Two, communication and microfilms files. Photograph is considered to be one of the most universal methods of communication, considering that no other language can be known universally than photograph. Communication is needed to information. For example, interview kaning like sa akong gingon gain na kani ang mag-interview siya kaning person or tao nga daalad to sa crime para ma-locate niya ang or ma-trace to niya ang suspect. So, transmission of photos and investigative report files. Three, evidence. Crime scene and other physical evidence requires photograph for preservation process. Crime scene cannot be retained as is for a long period of time, but through photograph, the initial condition of the scene of the crime can be preserved properly. Offender detection. Used to surveillance, burglary, confession, reenactment of crime, and police record of criminals. Court exhibits. Almost all evidence presented in court before formally be accepted requires that they satisfy the basic requirements of admissibility, which is relevancy and competency. A question of relevancy is usually proved by proving the origin of the evidence and its relation to the case, and this is usually supplemented by photograph of evidence giving reference as to where it came from. Evidence presented in court once accepted became known as exhibit, either exhibit 1, 2, 3, etc. for the defense or exhibit A, B, C, etc. for prosecution. Number 6. Crime prevention. With the use of video camera or the hidden camera and the other advanced photographic equipment, crimes are being detected more easily and even to the extent of preventing them from initially occurring or security clearance. Or ang sabot niya ay katong kuan nga kung gamay lang nga camera nga ipikit lang sa lawas o kuan nga makakita siya sa pangitabo. Number 7. Public relations. Katong mga pulis nga nagpa feeding program tas nag clean up drive sa kaning Daplin Baybay or sa other nga kaning dapat na hinoonon. Number 8. Police training. Modern facilities are now being used as instructional material not only in process training as well as in other agencies. Number 2, prepared training films. Number 3, documentaries. Number 4, traffic studies. Number 9, reproduction and copying. With the use of photography, any number of reproduction of the evidence can be made, thus giving unlimited opportunity for its examination and even allow the expert of person to examine the specimen without composing the original. Important terms in photography. Relative aperture. The speed of light gathering power of the lens equal to the rotation of the focal length to the diameter of its lens pupil, or related brightness of the image produced by the lens as compared with the brightness of the suspect. So makita mo diya sa screen nga katong sa kiba example Canon nga camera katong sa bangag bitaw katong makita ang para kung ang hayag makita sa sulod. Depth of field. The distance between the nearest and the farthest object in appearance sharp focus with the lens is focused at a given point. So, example, kaning na picture kag tao ang gi-focus gid mo kay katong tao gid. Next is the hyperfocal distance. The maximum permissible distance within which the film may be placed without exceeding the circle of confusion in order to produce the image sharp. Distortion. A general label referring to a particular distortion. The second is opposite of image, a clear image. The next one is angle of view. The view of the subject subtended by two lines emerging from the corners of the film extending to the center of the lens. So next is focal length. The distance measured from the center of the lens to the film plane with the lens is set to focus in infinity. Next one is resolving power of the lens. The resolving power of the lens is the maximum angle of resolution. So the next one is focus. Focus means by which the object distance is estimated or calculated to from the image sharp. The next one is positive lens, a converging lens which is characterized by the fact is thicker on the center than the edge and therefore has a positive focal length, forms the real image on the opposite side of the lens or the source of light. The next one is negative lines. A deriving lens which is always thinner at the center of than the edge from an image virtual on the same side or source of the light. The next one is shutter. Shutter on function place or the path of the light which passes through the lens. The next is filter. A filter, homogeneous medium which transmit and or absorb definitionally wavelength of the electromagnetic energy. Next is the correction filter. Those intended to alter the response of the film's spectral sensitivity in terms of brightness values as seen by the naked eye. The next one is neutral density filter. Those which are intended to reduce the intensity of brightness. The haze filters. Those which are intended to minimize haze of distant objects due to atmospheric haze or action of the sky. Next one is filter factor. The ratio of the time of exposure with and without the filter for the same effective exposure. The next one is the flash synchronization. The mechanical or the electrical adjustments to make the shutter open and the flash lamp reach the peak of its flash at the same time. And the next one is the parallax error. The displacement of an angle point when viewed at a different points of angle. So the next one is shape. Shape relates the general form, configuration, or routine of an individual object. The next one is tone. Tone refers to the time, brilliance with which light is reflected by an object. Without tone, difference between photographic image, the shape of the object obviously could not be discerned. So next is resolution of resolving power. Is an expression of quality measured by visible separated lines. It is expressed as the maximum number of the lines per millimeter that can be resolved as or seen as individual separated lines. Any magnification beyond that required to make the line count of the resolution of the final print will be decrease the image quality. Next is magnification, described as changing by the use of the optical instrument the ratio between photographic image and the object. The shadow. The absence of reduction of the light in a given space caused by an opaque object blocking light rays. Light meter. An instrument designed to measure the amount of light falling on or reflected from the subject. The information is used to make the aperture and the shutter settings on a camera. The light meter acceptor. The eye of the camera metering system. The accelerator. One of the four subparts of a developer's solution proposed is to increase the activity of reducing agent. Next is bellows. A light tight folding accordion type sleeve that connects the camera body and the lens. Also provides flexibility. The next one is bracket exposure. Bracket exposure, making one or more exposure calculated to be correct. The next one is flash meter, a handheld light sensing device used to measure the burst of light from one more electric flash unit. That's all, sir. Thank you.